Hello, hello, my nasties. Welcome back to the channel. Today is, of course, a Sketchy Saturday video. So come on up, get comfortable, grab a sketchbook, grab a coloring book, grab this page if you were a Patreon patron during the time that I released, well, rather 2 pages, because you are going to see 2 sketches in this video. For those of you who are new to my channel, let me give you a quick rundown of what a Sketchy Saturday is. So it is exactly what it sounds like. I pull out a sketchbook, I complete a sketch or 2, and then I chit-chat about a topic and upload it on a Saturday. Usually the sketches that I use for these videos are Patreon exclusive line art illustrations. So if you are interested in the coloring pages and downloading them for yourself, you can color on with me or color whenever you feel like it. Become a patron at the Color Fiend tier and get your pages. Okay. So let's get on with today's topic. What is today's topic? Today's topic is going to be very apropos. We are going to be discussing sketchbooks, specifically the aversion that many people have to using a sketchbook. That fear that arises when you start thinking, oh no, I'm not good enough for this sketchbook. It's got to be beautiful. It's got to be perfect, or else I'm never going to touch it. Okay, no, we're going to squash that today, or at least I'm going to attempt to squash it today. In an attempt to encourage my timid little wallflowers amongst you, let's start by saying there are no excuses, because an excuse is always, oh, you know, I have a sketchbook sitting here, but I just don't have the time of day. I'll start tomorrow. I'll start the next day. I'll start in 2 days. No, that is you creating false excuses. If you have a writing utensil, I don't care if it's a pen, pencil, a crayon, a piece of charcoal, I don't care. I don't care what it is. If it is an item that will make a mark on a paper, that's all you need for a sketchbook. There are many people who think when you use a sketchbook, one has to complete a full-blown sketch. No, you don't. You can practice a technique. Let's say you are wanting to learn how to shade or how to crosshatch. Okay, grab that pen, that pencil, that marker, that piece of charcoal, I don't know, some mud on a stick, okay, and just practice for 30 seconds, 1 minute. That qualifies. So there's no excuse to the not having time thing, all right? That's not gonna fly with me. You guys know I don't like excuses. Some excuses are valid, but that is one that is definitely not. The time thing, there's always time. Grab the sketchbook when you're sitting on the toilet, okay? There is always time. Most creatives at any level, whether they be beginner, amateur, occasional hobbyist, professional, it doesn't matter. We have all read or heard the phrase, quote unquote, done is better than perfect. Is this a tired adage, an overused cliche? Maybe just a little bit, but it is also a classic. It's a classic for one simple reason, and it's mostly true. Done is better than perfect is a wise mantra, I think, to repeat to yourself. It will aid you in being a bit more productive. Now, one caveat, of course, is that, yes, done is better than perfect is easily invalidated when it is used as a crutch to just slop around, be lazy, and create haphazard work. Create without putting the effort into learning something in the process of said creation. So you're just slapping something on a page for no reason whatsoever. Now, I'm not saying that just freestyling in a sketchbook is a bad idea. No, I'm not. But if every single time you sit there, you simply just flip a page every day and you just make a couple marks and say, there, I did it. I don't care. That's it. And every day it's just scratch after scratch after scratch. Well, no, you're negating the wisdom of done is better than perfect. Because the point of done is better than perfect, in essence, is to say, listen, make an effort to learn, make an effort to be productive, make an effort to improve some way, even if it's not a concentrated effort, but you are at least putting forth some effort to complete something that you can proudly step away from and say, you know what? Yeah, maybe it's not the most perfect thing in the world, but I learned this, and this, or I enjoyed myself in the process. Get it? So because it is nearly 3 o'clock in the morning, this is just the way my brain works, okay? My 3 a.m. brain. I wanted to paint a hypothetical little situation for you guys, and I just heard an owl outside, and so my brain is going, oh, I can paint them a hypothetical and I can make it a little bit absurd. We like that around here. We like some 3 a.m. Karla shenanigans around here. So here we go. Let me scribble a little hypothetical for you. Just bear with me, bear with me, and enter the land of make-believe with me. Please, okay? Indulge my absurdist fantasies, will you? Damn it, I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to encourage you, all right? So it is a beautiful overcast day. It was overcast today, by the way. So it was a beautiful overcast day. You're taking a stroll down, I don't know, a tree-lined avenue. You pass by a lovely old cemetery. You see a little cafe. You stop in for a spot of tea or coffee. And as soon as you walk outside, a giant, creepy-ass buzzard swoops down and hands you $50. Just a nice, crispy $50 bill. It swoops down from one of its trees in the cemetery. I don't know why it's hanging out in the cemetery. That's disgusting. Is there a corpse lying around that hasn't been buried deep enough? I don't know. I don't care. Do not question the buzzard. The buzzard is handing you $50, okay? So the bird says, just reaches out its little talon and it says, hey, I will give you this crispy 50, but only if you use it to walk down the street. Next door to that coffee shop is a cute little art store, cute little stationery store. Take this $50 and buy yourself a nice sketchbook, nice pencil, and if you have anything extra, a nice pen. Just get yourself a couple of drawing utensils and a nice sketchbook. And I'm not talking about a $5 sketchbook, $10 sketchbook, okay? I'm talking about a nice one, hardbound, nice paper. Hell, if you want to blow all of your $50 on the sketchbook, baby, do it. But buy yourself a sketchbook. That's the only way I'm letting go of this 50. Who's going to say no to $50 from a buzzard? Anyone? Okay, maybe it's just me. Maybe I would happily take money from random animals, but just you agree to take the $50 and you march your merry behind down to that cute little stationery store. Look at you with your coffee or your tea, your $50, and you think, yeah, I'm going to buy myself a nice sketchbook today. Free money, good times. So you grab, say, I don't know, a $35 sketchbook, and then you grab let's make it fancier. You get a $40 sketchbook. Get a $40 sketchbook, and then you get yourself, I don't know, a $2 pencil, a $3 pen, and an eraser. Okay, is that almost $50? Maybe. If you have some change left over, fine, pocket the leftover change. You get your stuff, you're excited, you think, oh, I got a fancy sketchbook, couple of pens, pencil, whatever it is, I'm excited. Today is the day. Today is the day, damn it, that I'm going to allow myself to use a fancy sketchbook. Never mind that I have a ton sitting at home that I've never touched. Today, because of that bird, I'm using a fancy book today. When a scraggly buzzard swoops down from the clouds and hands you $50 with the stipulation to treat yourself, you don't question it. You just don't. You arrive home, you reach for your favorite beverage, snacky bits, whatever it is. You turn on music or a movie or a show or whatever noise you need that helps you to be productive. You turn that on, and then you do one of these, with your hands. Like in the movies, you rub your hands together, you crack your knuckles. Oh, come on, Knuckles. I'm asking them to crack right now on cue. Crack. Oh, God. That was pathetic. But I tried, okay? So you grab your stuff. You make yourself comfortable on your little desk. And you think, let's crack open this book. And on the first page, you tell yourself, the first thing I'm going to draw is that freaky-ass bird that bought me the book. My first entry in this sketchbook will be an homage to the buzzard. But then the drama begins. You begin admiring the binding. You bought a beautiful little leatherette book. It's got gilded edges, silver, gold, holographic, whatever floats your boat. Nice leatherette. Gilded edges, the fancy books that have a couple of different bookmarks, you know, the little fabric, little strips, the satiny bookmarks, handmade paper, very nice. And then you stop and you say, this is probably the prettiest sketchbook I own. You look over to your bookshelf or to your shelf or your stack of books in the corner, whatever, and you see your stack of sketchbooks that you have been accumulating throughout the years. Blank sketchbooks that you've never touched because of, oh, I'm not good enough, because, I just need to do this, I need to planner, XYZ, the excuse salad of why you've not used those sketchbooks. So you put down the fancy one. You admire it, its quality, it's beautiful, and then you open one of your regular sketchbooks. And then you say, okay, I purchased this sketchbook X number of years ago. I spent a pretty penny on it. I don't feel like ruining the page number 1, the face sheet, because when I come back to this sketchbook, I want to turn to page 1 and I want to admire it as being a beautiful face sheet. So let's just turn the page. And I have a little notebook here with a few bullet notes. You guys know I can't script my videos, but I always have sticky notes or notes in a notebook. So for dramatic effect, you see page 1 in your sketchbook and you say, flip the page violently, and you say, no, I'm not going to start on page 1. Well, but what about page 2? And thus the downward spiral continues, because page 2, well, what if you make a mistake on page 1? The fancy sketchbook, or rather the fancy face sheet that you haven't even touched yet, but you will someday in the future. Oh, no, well, you can't risk risking or ruining page 1. So let's reserve page 2 as a do-over. You know what? I'm just not feeling that comfortable. Let me flip to another page. And it's an endless cycle of excuse making and not getting anything done. Until finally you say, you know what? Never mind. I'm being stubborn. I'm just going to pick a random page, which, by the way, a tip from me, I've said it before, I highly recommend, if you are one of these people who is very paranoid about destroying a sketchbook, or if you simply have a difficult time beginning a sketchbook, it isn't that you're afraid, but you just have, what is the term? It's kind of like starting anxiety or something to that effect. It's like analysis paralysis, where you have too many options and then you just kind of freeze in place. My suggestion to you is to just open the sketchbook randomly. Do not work in your sketchbooks in sequential order. I stopped doing that years ago, and I think it's great. You can see the progress of your sketchbook in chunks, and you don't see necessarily a steady progression in technique or in improvement, right? It's more of a feel. It gives your sketchbook more of a personalized vibe, and it's a bit more, for lack of a better word, quirky, that word, but it gives it more flavor, more personality. We'll say, when you're mixing and constantly, what's that phrase? Never let them know your next move, right? Well, never let yourself know your next move. Use your sketchbook as a literal playground. Every time you open it up, flip to a random page and fill it up that way. It's fun. But anyway, you finally end up settling on a page in your cheap sketchbook, right? You grab your pencil and then you decide to sketch the bird. This doesn't look like a bird. This looks like a trash can with a traffic cone for a beak. What is this? This is not a bird. Is it growing fur? What's going on here? What is this? What is this? You crumple it up. You throw it in the trash. Who are you to draw a bird? You don't draw birds. You've never drawn a bird in your life. Why are you marring your sketchbook? No. What are you thinking? So you close your sketchbook, which ends up being once again empty. You put it back with its other empty brethren that are gathering dust in the corner, and you end up spending the rest of the evening either organizing your art supplies or, I don't know, sharpening your pencils, doing anything other than what the intention was, which is to create something in a sketchbook. Does this sound familiar? Maybe not necessarily the buzzard part, but the I'm not worthy, the I'm not good enough, the someday after I've put in practice, or the someday when I'm not ashamed to show people my artwork of it all. Does that sound familiar to any of you out there? If it does, and I'm sure that it does, squash it today. If you truly believe that you are less valuable, or rather, if you believe that you are not valuable enough to play, to sketch, to color in what is literally simply a stack of blank paper, baby, you've got some heavy internal healing to do. At the end of the day, that's what a sketchbook is, no? Is it not just a bunch of blank pages bound between two covers? Why do you feel unworthy of blank paper? It doesn't matter what your skills are or your lack thereof. You can develop them in your sketchbook. And it doesn't even matter if you have no desire necessarily to become some grand artist. If you simply want to learn how to be an abstract illustrator, an abstract painter, great. You never have to draw a hand, a foot, or an eyeball in your life. You just make those marks. So what is stopping you? The insecurity? Stop it. The fear? Stop it. Easier said than done, I know, but listen, my pep talks / amicable kicks in the butt, they're supposed to help you. And I'm hoping that they inspire at least a handful of you, because yes, there's always going to be that person in the audience that's like, but Karla, I have 50 excuses why. You're living in La La Land and you can pull out a sketchbook whenever you want. No. 0 excuses. Yes, barring some crazy situation such as your arms become suddenly paralyzed because you get shot with a laser gun by some, I don't know, UFO floating in outer space. That's different. Extenuating circumstances aside, there is no excuse to not open that sketchbook. I don't care if it's a $5 sketchbook or a $50 sketchbook. Pick it up. It's not serving you just sitting there blank. I am here to encourage you to grab one and just frickin' make something. Go into the sketch knowing full well that it might be a disaster. And always remember that what is a disaster to you is not necessarily a disaster to someone else. I am not saying that you should be creating for other people. You should be creating for yourself first and foremost. But you should not let the fear of being ashamed of other people seeing your work stop you. Because baby, nobody out there matters. Nobody can do what you do. We all have our strengths and our weaknesses. Embrace them. And if there's something you want to change, well, that's when you dive into your sketchbook and you practice, you improve, you learn. Don't even go at it with a plan to sketch anything complicated. Simply practice your techniques, your cross-hatching, your texture play, your layering with color. Do all of that. So put that cheap sketchbook away, grab the nice one that the bird bought you, and use it. Do it with intention. Your intention should be, I don't care if I even enjoy the end result. I just want to play and practice. No matter the outcome, you will feel better about having done something. Anything other than mentally berating yourself about your inadequacies and watching your fancy sketchbooks continue to wither away, gathering dust, unloved and unused. I do not possess an unhealthy degree of arrogance, believe it or not, but I do possess confidence, and confidence can be sometimes mistaken for arrogance, and sometimes there's a little combination of both. I get it. Life is not black and white. It's a myriad shades of gray, but what I do possess is confidence and tenacity. I have the tenacity to experiment and fail. Oh, and baby, I have failed a lot at many things, and I will continue to do so. Some things fail, even though they were a personal triumph, they were a public failure. Sometimes it's the other way around. So I'm not immune to that. I'm not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, and I would never pretend to be. But you know what? In the process of these failures, were it not for these bumps in the road, these failures, these mistakes, and what have you, were it not for that, I would not have developed the personal style techniques and by extension, the creative career that I have today. I had to go through some failures, many failures over the years to get where I am now. How are you ever going to see yourself growing as a creative if you never even make the effort to sketch and make those mistakes in your sketchbooks? Do you see the correlation? I think you do. So that's it for today. Ask yourself why you feel unworthy of quote unquote destroying your nice sketchbooks, your nice journals, if you're a writer, a poet, whatever it is. Get help. Get help for yourself if it's something much, much deeper than simply feeling slightly inadequate as an artist. But I already said it. Make the first move. Just make a mess and don't worry about the outcome. And I promise you, even if you don't like the sketch, you are going to enjoy yourself and or learn something in the process. There is no such thing as a shitty sketch unless it was a shitty sketch scribbled for the wrong reason. If you half-ass something, yeah, we don't like that. That's shitty. Don't do that. Don't be lazy. If you enjoy yourself or learn something, and learning doesn't always necessarily have to be fun, that's also true. But if you've done that, then you are doing something right. So that's it. Did I really need to upload this video? Have it be this long? No, when all I really needed to say was, hey, just grab a sketchbook and make something today. Because that's the gist of the video. So just do it. No excuse. Don't say, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Karla, thanks for the video. I'll do it tomorrow. No, do it today. Grab those 30 seconds. Grab that minute. Crosshatch. Throw some marker on there. It doesn't matter. Just make it quick. Just start one of your blank books. Okay? If you don't feel like doing that, fine. Color in a coloring book, whether it's myself or someone else's. If you are a Patreon patron, print this page out, color it. Just do something. Do something today, and if it's not drawing in your sketchbook, then experiment with some technique that you're afraid of. Okay? Just do something. If I could reach through this microphone, through this computer screen and shake you, I would. That is it for today. Thank you for watching. Once again, both of these sketches were turned into exclusive line art for my Patreon patrons at the Color Fiend tier. These two particular pages are no longer available for download. The pages are created exclusively for each month, and they are removed after the fact because I want to keep, the exclusivity over on Patreon. And just FYI, I do need to do quite a bit of catch up on my Sketchy Saturdays because since I was gone for so long from YouTube, I have a backlog of videos that I need to make using my previous Patreon sketches. So if you have been collecting those, I've got Sketchy Saturdays coming, okay? So just keep an eye out. Be bad, be good. I don't give a damn which. Just make sure you come back in one piece, and I will see you in the next one. Oh, and as always, art supplies that I used in the creation of these sketches will be listed and or linked down in the box below. Okay, I'm taking off now. Have fun. Go find a bird. Get those $50. Bye.